Good evening. Welcome to Kingdom Lum Small Town Underground. And hello, how are you this evening? Just trying to get everything set up. Just to let everybody know, I'm out of YouTube jail. So we're back streaming on YouTube, Rumble, and Facebook. And as always, if you can help me share this out, a good like and subscribe for the show. We'll just go and get bigger and stronger and better. And so who knows how long we'll be out. We may go right back to jail tonight. So welcome this Wednesday evening. We're back to our regular schedule. And tonight I got a guest with me. His name is Jerry Parris. And we'll have another special guest coming up in a little bit. We're going to do a phone call about something specific with Richard Schriber. And that's all coming up. So a couple of quick announcements before we get started on March the 30th. And I'm going to try to pull this up here real quick. We are having a civil defense class. Now, we're going to get into this in great detail here in the show. But as you can see, this flyer that I've posted, we're sharing it all over the place. We're having a civil safety training, Unity Through Civics. And it's going to be Saturday, March the 30th, starting about 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. It's going to be at the Chattooga County Agricultural Center down in Somerville. We're going to be doing all kinds of stuff, which this is Jerry's event, so that we will be talking in great depths about this in detail. So this is going to be a great event. Yours truly is going to be there. I'm going to be probably live streaming it. I'm going to do whatever I can to be involved in every aspect of this. So if you are so inclined, you can come to my Facebook page and you can share that, and we'll get that out to the masses because we want to have a big turnout there. And it's what a great way to coordinate and meet with all kinds of people in your area. Also, we've got a couple of fundraising events coming up, which will be, let's see, April the 20th on the day of state convention. We're fixing to roll out some major advertising for it is a president's dinner honoring Donald Trump, who just today won just this week won Super Tuesday. It's going to be a fundraising event. We're going to be fundraising for Reagan Box. We're going to be fundraising for a few more people that we're confirming. We're going to have Tactical Civics. Hopefully we're trying to reach out to the Georgia Right to Life. The GRA, a lot of people are going to be there and be present. We're going to have all kinds of things going on. So be looking for that as we roll that out. We're also doing a fundraiser event in coordination with Chattooga County Commissioner Blake Ellsbury. We're going to be doing that on April the 13th, which is a Saturday. We're going to be rolling all of that out as well, so you can come down to Somerville and you can meet Blake in person and eat some food. And we're gonna have some few speakers and just be out and about with the community. So those are the three great events that are coming up pretty much back to back to back in our area. And we'll be getting this stuff out. So without further ado, I want to introduce my audience to Mr. Jerry Parris. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. So,
and I appreciate you having me on. I came in and I noticed a sign first off. It says Bikers for Trump.
Yes. Andy Soha, he was on the show, and he gave Mike Pons is going to be running for House Representative.
Oh, yeah. He's going to be at the event.
Yes, we did a show together. Andy and Mike, they're great guys, and he gave me that for coming out. So expect to see a lot more of them. But.
Oh yeah, I'm Haywood Valley Road in Chattooga. I'm the only Trump sign on Haywood Valley Road, and
really?
It says "Gun Owners for Trump."
There you go. You go.
I mean, the deal is, I just have to say, there's enough people around that like Trump and have voted for Trump, and we're just tired of the Democrats stealing every election that
Right.
and we can't say too much. We can't say enough about it.
Sure.
And that's a long subject. We don't really want to. I mean, I don't want to get into it. It's just going to be a long subject. But
absolutely. I mean, the thing about it, and full disclosure, we haven't even known each other that long.
No.
But this is the great thing about our community and working together with people. You meet people with the same kind of mindset where you just kind of click. I feel like we just kind of clicked from the very beginning. It's like there's no question about motives or anything like that. It's just, hey, we both realize that there's a need to stand up and to be active and to do things, because we have got to save our country. We've got to save our state,
absolutely,
our county. We've got to save our Constitution. And I feel like that. You're right. You're right there at it.
We have to, and I feel the same way, Roy. I really do. I mean, I think maybe a month ago, and it's just a mindset. Once you see once your eyes are open, and we had talked about that earlier before we went on. How long it's been, and our eyes have been opened, and I constantly try to explain to people, look, once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Right.
There's no way to unsee it.
It's like the Matrix.
It is the Matrix. It's exactly what it is. We've been lied to all of our lives, and people they really don't believe that until they see it. I see it. You see it. We have a lot of patriots that see it, and I'm just blessed that it's just a great time. It really is. And I want to make a shout out to Ebenezer Baptist Church. That's my church now. It's down on Haywood Valley Road. Where I want to say everybody at that church is a patriot.
Wow.
Everybody. I want to say from Stuart Johnson to Jacob Hammondtree, even I got a story to tell you after this. I can't do it online, but you're going to laugh. But we've got a lot of patriots. Mike Yancey, the reverend there, the preacher there, he is great, and they are truly one of us.
That's good. That's good.
If you come to church Sunday, you're going to feel right at home. You're going to have Granny open up her purse and show you a 44 Magnum. Okay, and that's the kind of church we are.
I hear you. I hear you. It's really. I mean, I think we're living in a time where we know that politics has kind of polarized everything we do. It's in the culture, but it's not like this was something that was just. How do I say this? It is organic in a way because of how it takes over everything. But when you say people are getting awakened to the fact that we've let these things go on for so long, long, and we've been asleep at the wheel, and we've been trusting our legislators and our representatives to do the right thing over and over, and we wake up to see that it's a uniparty, that they're in it for themselves. There's very, very few people that are actually standing up, being selfless, and now we're wanting this accountability. We're wanting these people to understand that the jig is up. We're alive and well and awake, and we're watching.
Look, you're exactly right, Roy, and I don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen. Nobody knows except for one man, and that's God.
That's right.
And he I feel, in my opinion, he's leading me. He's leading you.
I do.
He is leading us because we are the party of God.
That's right.
You can't say you're a Democrat and say you're a Christian in the same breath. If you do, you're a liar.
No, and it doesn't matter if you're just a good old boy and you've been that good country person and everybody loves you and everything. If you're willing to put a D next to your name, then it's over with. Like if you can stand with the idiocracy and the evilness of the Democrat Party.
It's evil. It's good against evil. We know it.
Is.
We see it. You see it every day. Who in their right mind would say the borders are secure? Who in their right mind would say, I'm for a ninth term abortion? I mean, it's sickening.
It really is.
It's sick. And look, I try to get along with everybody.
Yeah.
But a lot of times you just have to speak up. And I think, again, back to what you said, we haven't done our job.
No.
As the people. Our forefathers wanted us to do something. First of all, we're the remnant of God, the God trust and the Constitution. And they have flipped this thing on its head. The deep state and the deep state actors in our country they're against us, 100% against us. They cover it up. You see it. I did not realize it till I started going to some of these GOP parties and looking at the rhinos. You can't say you're a Republican if you are a rhino. You might as well wear the badge, as I said earlier, and put the Democrat sticker on.
That's right.
You're not a Republican. You're not. There's no way.
I couldn't agree more.
Well, we're
right at the time.
We're right at the time.
So here's what we're going to do before we dive into our talk. What we're going to do is going to bring Richard Schroeder on, who's been on the show before. He brought something to my attention that we want to talk to him about, and I haven't seen the documentary yet. I plan on watching it the next day or so. But we're going to go ahead and get him on the phone, and it's kind of going to be great because neither one of us you haven't seen this either. So we're going to kind of just let our Richard tell our audience about this documentary because it's probably bombshell, and we all need to be paying attention to it. So let's get him on the phone real quick.
Hello.
Hello, sir. How are you this evening?
I'm doing good.
Good, man. It's nice to talk to you again, Richard Schroeder. Welcome to the show, brother.
And hey, man, this is Jerry Parris. I've heard a little bit about you, and it sounds like you're a true patriot.
Absolutely.
Well, it sounds like you are too. And Roy, I am so grateful for you getting out and spreading words that we are so censored right now. I had this movie on my Facebook page twice. I went to go find it. All I got is a blank saying this has been do. And it's gone in 2 posts. So tonight I posted it twice just to jab them a little bit,
Right.
But this is, I just heard it too. Last night I watched it, and come to find out it's been out since December. And so there's mass.
I'm going to have to see that.
Wow.
It's just, I'll tell you what, another thing about it, you get people to say, oh, you got to watch this. Or this is the best movie I ever saw. Hey, take it from me. You and me, we've been around a lot.
Mm-hmm.
This is the best.
Well, tell us what it is. I'm going to try to pull it up while you're talking.
It's probably 2 hours.
Okay.
But in those 2 hours, he gives a quick biography of himself. He's a professor. He's been fired for the COVID.
Yeah,
census.
this is, you're talking about, is it David Clements, right?
Yes, he was a professor and he got fired, and he's put this together. There's a animated voting person. They call him Chad of all names.
Right.
And it's really cute. They go from the poll. I'm a poll worker, so I'm real familiar with the voting process and the bad things about it. But they start out with the poll pads and all the, nothing's connected to the internet. And he dispels everything. And then the ballot marking device. And then the tabulator. Oh, my God. He goes into the tabulator deeper than I even knew. I mean, way deep. And dispels all the fantasy. I mean, by the way, I got these Haldeman reports. I was at trial for 2 weeks.
Yes, the
January.
curling case.
Yes. And so I got these, Haldeman was there and flipped the votes right in front of Judge Amy Totenberg.
Yes.
And so I got these Haldeman reports. I printed them up and I got copies of them. I put them in a nice folder. I've given out over 100 of them. But I want people, I ask people, I get in a group, I say, how many people read the Haldeman report? Because what it does, it kills our voting machines.
Oh, yeah.
They're so vulnerable. They're designed and created to cheat and steal elections.
Now listen
I've been giving them out, and I want you to tell your audience, I got them. Just private message me, and I will mail them to you free charge. Just read them and find out how bad they are.
See, that's awesome. I love that activism there. We need more of it.
Can't lose this. Can't lose this. Remember, David Cross says we ain't got no plan B.
That's right. And I will. I still haven't been able to release the footage that I had from January, but it's super close to being released. And I know the people close to me are laughing at me right now because I said that. And I think most people know that I'm like the Tasmanian devil, but it's coming. But even the people in our Georgia State Dome claim they didn't know what the Haldeman report is. How can you not know? About
because
the
they are liars.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I give each one on the state election board. In October, I give them section 1. If you just read section 1, it blows it out of the water.
Right.
But in December 20th, I was down there and with Garland and the Coalition of Good Governance.
Yes.
Oh my God! And I give each one of them the whole report, and then I give my own board of elections. I give them section 1 back months ago, and then this last month I give them the complete report. You know what I did? I speak. I get up there and I tell them stuff. And I got the reports. I got 5 people up there. I give 5 reports out, and I come back to the podium to do my talking. And they say, "You got 1 minute left." And I look up like, I haven't even started talking. And they started the clock when I was walking up to hand them the stuff. I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm.
And now our next meeting is on election day. So I'm a poll worker, so I don't get to go to that meeting.
Yeah, isn't it crazy how they plan these things? It's a coincidence, isn't it?
That's exactly
and
how they operate.
The chairman, I says, "Can't you change it for election day?" "Oh, no, we can't do that."
Oh, no, you can't do that.
But hey, remember, I said I was at the state election board on December 20th. You know what they're doing now?
What's that?
Live stream. They don't want nobody else. I was there with Relentless Lisa and
Yes.
Jennifer, and they had the paper and the black pens and stuff. We made signs, and we're up there waving the signs and everything. And now they don't want nobody in the room.
Of course not.
Oh,
Of
yeah.
course not.
Did you
Of course
expect
not.
anything less from them?
Yeah.
I had no idea they would run like. But hey, Jennifer, she saw Brad Raffenberger in the hallway.
Yes.
He saw her and he ducked into the elevator. He took off running, man. Those girls will chase him down.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Lisa's a close friend of mine. I love her to death. And so
boy,
many
she
good
puts
people.
out
We've
a
got
video, boy. Look
Jennifer
out.
Jones Hilligus. Jennifer Hilligus is in here, man. She is
man.
a fighter. A fighter.
Yeah.
She is. She's a
Such
pit
good
bull.
people. Yes. So Richard, real quick before we go into this, let my people go. Tell us, have you heard anything about the curling case? I mean, we've got the Fonnie Willis fiasco, and then the curling case is over. I've not heard of a ruling yet. Have you?
Everything is falling apart. 2 weeks ago, I go to this conservative group meeting every Tuesday at noon. And I always lead with the Pledge of Allegiance, which is a terrible, with liberty and justice for all. And I just cry my eyes out for those people that are in January 6th and being, it just
Amen.
doesn't make sense that we're putting up with this stuff.
No.
And so I started out the meeting. And, in Luke 12:11, it says, "Don't worry what to say. The Holy Spirit will give you the words," and I rely on that. I just love God, and he shows me favor. Well, I was up there, and I was supposed to be praying, and I go, I have no words. How many times you get somebody that leads a prayer and says, "I ain't got no words." I have no words. And I says, "Lord, we just give it to you," and since 2 weeks ago, look what God has been doing.
I know.
Absolutely.
100% right.
I got drafted in 1969. They made me an Army combat medic, which was almost like a death sentence. Out of AIT, Advanced Individual Training, I got sent to Vietnam in August.
Wow.
In July, the government killed 4 people at Kent State University.
Oh, man.
Yes. Kent
4
State.
dead in Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what that did to the American people? They had enough. They were fed up, and Congress ordered Nixon to pull out, I don't know how many people, because I wasn't even aware of it at the time, but he withdrawn a lot of people, and I got withdrawn from Vietnam in Oakland, California. I didn't have to step foot in the rice paddy, and I ended up in Germany. But the timing was critical, and we're at that timing now. Because I was at the meeting just last week, and I says, God has given me the words. We're at the tipping point. We're at the top of the hill. This is no time to slow down. Let's sprint. Because this is when poor 22-year-old girl, Laken Riley.
Oh, yes. Laken Riley.
Oh, yeah.
Brutally murdered. And I've heard stories that you couldn't even you wouldn't even want to describe it. It was so brutal.
Yes.
And America is fed up. This is just ridiculous what we're putting up with. And
I agree.
so here we are. I handed it to God, and God is working. In 6 days, He created the universe.
That's right.
Yes.
And now He's working on our behalf. In 1500, there was Spanish Inquisition. They run all the Jews out. You know, the Muslims took over Spain. And they run all the Jews out, and Jews didn't have nowhere to go. And 1492, there's America, and a place for America and freedom and religion and love God. And and now it's so threatened by the underlying people that are out to destroy it.
Jerry and I were having the same kind of conversation before the show about how connected that we become with each other, and how nothing is coincidental, and how things just fall into place. And you know, you're very right. We're at this point in time where if we don't do what we're doing, we can't be comfortable anymore. And I believe that the good Lord is allowing all of these things to break down and these things to happen because we've been so comfortable in this country. We've been so comfortable, these golden eras and the great experiment of America, that we've let things go too far.
Yep.
And we are the people. This is our government, our house, and we've been asleep at the wheel, letting these tyrants run free. And this will happen no longer. So
hey, I will say this. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. Everybody needs to wake up, learn the Constitution, learn the entire Constitution from the preamble all the way down, even where it says being quartered on the water, admiralty law, everything, and learn it. Absolutely. That's the job we haven't been doing, because we can take them out.
That's right.
100%. Take them all out, and we don't have to fire a shot to take them out.
That's
right. Richard, you're a patriot, and anytime you need somebody to have your back, I'm your huckleberry. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, we got to stick together now like never before, because we got the left, and we got the bad people, we got the bad actors.
Yeah.
But I think one of the worst things is the people in the middle that don't care and don't do anything.
I know.
None of this be happening.
Willful ignorance.
That's what it is.
And I'll tell you what, they're in our neighborhood, they're in our church.
Yep.
They're in our families. And they're almost impossible to change.
I understand.
Look, I'm the conspiracy theorist in my family. I'm being honest. And I hate to say that, but my mother has walked up and said, "Honey, I love you, but what's the conspiracy theory for the day?"
I get that.
I'm like,
all the
Mom,
time.
come on. You have to wake up. We have to wake up.
That's right. Oh, so Richard, I've got this pulled up on the screen. So the movie is called Let My People Go, and I'm showing this on Rumble. This is from the Gateway Pundit. So if in talking about the people in the middle, so let's let them know, if you want to go to Rumble, which is not going to censor this, you can watch the free worldwide release of Let My People Go by Dr. David Clements, right? And I thought it was very important we bring this up, especially when it's information that needs to be out there, you know?
Amen.
Yes, indeed. And you know, it's Let My People Go. It relates to the Bible and the story of Moses getting the exodus of the Jewish people out of Egypt, you know, at the Red Sea. And remember walking around the capital three times and relating it to Jericho?
Exactly.
I'm telling
the walls of
the
Jericho.
walls are crumbling down.
Oh, they've got nowhere else to.
Working on our behalf.
They've got nowhere else to run. They've got nowhere else to hide. This is the thing. I told this story a couple weeks ago, but I was so mad at this legislative session, and I'm not going to bash everything. They're doing some good things, right? Think about some of this stuff, but it's overall pretty much a poor legislative session, right? They're just ignoring things that are for the people. And I was so mad and distraught, and I was thinking, how can these people be this way? And a very wise person looked at me and said, "Listen, man," he said, this is exactly what they've been doing the whole time. They've never stopped. He said, the only difference is that now you're looking at it, you're watching it. And I thought, you know, that epiphany came to me. It's like, you're right. Like
in real time.
They don't even realize that they're doing anything wrong, because that's the status quo in government.
Yes.
But the difference is now, you know, the quantum physics is here. We're actually watching this experiment, and they don't know how to react to us watching them, you know?
You're right.
I know.
So
hey, that's like watching The Sound of Freedom.
There you go.
I thought sex trafficking was like prostitution. No, these are sick people.
Mm-hmm.
Very
taking
sick.
Advantage of children, you know.
Oh yes.
And so watching that movie, it was like an eye opener, like you said. But I hear that Mel Gibson is making another movie, and it's
Yes.
going to relate to the worse stuff with. It's going to be worse.
You
Yes.
know,
And
Yes.
you guys are right. How is it that you talk to people and you're like, "Hey, man, have you watched The Sound of Freedom?" And they're like, "What movie's that?" Or have you saw 2,000 Mules? Oh, what movie's that? Or if you say, "Hey,
got that
Police
back
State,"
here. Yep.
you know, have you watched Police State? What movie's that? Are you kidding me?
A
Yeah.
lot of people haven't even watched the Tucker Carlson interview with Vladimir Putin, which I found fascinating. That is a piece of history.
Oh,
right
you
there.
know he's a traitor.
Oh, of course I know. Yes.
yeah,
All right.
That
So-
guy's a patriot if I ever saw one.
Well, Richard, we really appreciate your time, and I want to do another curling case interview soon once we kind of get a verdict, so we can go in. I'd like to get a round table with a few people, and let's just dive into it.
definitely. And shame on Amy Totenberg for waiting this long to straighten
Oh yeah. Well, she's looking for a way out.
vulnerability
Yeah.
in the machines.
Yeah.
100%. 100%. Well, brother, we appreciate the time you've given us, and we're going to post a link up to this. Let my people go, and I will be watching it the next few days, and I'm sure I'm going to be awestruck.
Hey, Richard.
Fantastic. Yeah, yeah. And like they say, like, no, you gotta watch this one. Don't worry about all the other stuff they tell you to watch. This is the key right here.
Got it.
Is it?
Definitely,
Is
sir.
it?
Well,
Yes.
we will be watching, and we'll get back with you soon, brother. We appreciate you.
Good to talk to you, Richard.
Thank you, Roy. Nice meeting you.
All right,
Meeting
man.
you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Yeah, he's a great, great man, and he's been sacrificing a lot of his time and his energy down there in Atlanta to really just stick to all of this, you know.
And man, he's right in the middle of it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So
You have to be a strong patriot to be down there with that crap.
well, I don't know if I told you this or not, and like I said, there's so many good people in so many different ways, right?
Yeah.
Like I think about all of our people up here in the 14th, and people like Jennifer and Charles,
Oh,
and
yeah.
all these people that are doing active. When we were down at the Capitol, the first film that I got was one of our representatives, and didn't know, what he's going to say. Halfway through, he stops and he says, "Listen," he says, "I want to know who you guys are working for. Like, who's funding you?" And we all just kind of stopped and like, "What do you mean, who's funding us?" Yeah. Somebody's got to be funding you. What group are you with? And who's paying for these signs?
Well,
And-
that was Democrat.
well, no, it was a Republican that said that. It was a Republican. You'll be able to see it very soon. And we were like, none of us are coordinated. There was a flyer up and people were talking, and I took a day off to come down here. Like, we're not being funded by anybody.
Are you kidding me?
That blows their mind, because
What's
they're
wrong with people?
Well, they're not used to the conservatives coming down and holding them accountable. They're used to these Democrat non-governmental organizations. But the guy thought that we were like being paid to be down there. So it's astounding.
It's this event coming up March 30th.
Yes.
Listen, it's free. We're going to have
Yes.
snack foods, bags of chips, water, nothing fancy, but we've got a great venue.
Yeah.
And we have great speakers. And again, that's not funded by anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I paid for that out of my own pocket because I believe.
Right.
I'm not bragging by no means because,
No, sir.
dude, to rent the ag center is only $100.
Mm-hmm.
And to use everything they've got. It's a great center. It's a great thing. I've been there for several Mohawk events in days gone by, and several other things, rodeos and music events. I've played music there. You probably have too, back.
I've been there. I've never played over there, but that'd be cool to do.
It is cool.
But this is just like I said. This is you putting this out. And on Saturday, March the 30th, and so kind of tell our audience. Like I said, everybody's free to come. We're gonna be posting this everywhere. Tell us what to expect.
Well, you're gonna expect a lot of patriots.
Good.
You're gonna expect a lot of patriots. What you're gonna expect is Reverend Jeff Daniels is gonna get up and say the blessing on the event. We're gonna obviously say Pledge Allegiance. We're gonna pledge to the flag. And then I'm going to get up and say a little bit, my piece. We're going to have tables set up with prepping items, safety-oriented, like first aid kits, I tell everybody, I don't say put a tourniquet in your safety kit because you might get shot.
Right.
My wife killed 2 rattlesnakes in the front yard last year. Now, she's a good shot, but those things went after her. They actually chased her. So, anyway, what I'm saying is you never know when you're going to get bit by a spider, a snake. You're going to get cut where you're bleeding to death. Put a tourniquet in your bag. We're going to have tables set up with all that. We're going to have tables set up with radios, kind of like this radio that you asked me about.
Yeah, tell the viewers, this is some stuff that's going around. A lot of people are talking about these now.
Well, my cousin Roger Parris, he bought 3 of these. You can put 200 people on one SIM card. It's got 2 channels. It's ran off SIM card. And the unfortunate thing, it goes through a cell tower, so you may as well throw your phone away. And this too, if we have a terrorist attack and it takes out the local cell tower. But the other thing is, I can talk to California, and it's more clear than a cell phone.
That's pretty cool.
But like I said, and you can talk individually. You don't have to talk to everybody. You can go and talk to, scroll down and talk to the each person. Now, it's not a Motorola. It's a 2-way. I don't know how they could manipulate the cell tower to pick up a signal to steal your conversation on this. I have no idea. I don't think they can.
Right.
It's not through Verizon. It's a one-time fee. They're about $200, $99 a piece. So, but the Sims card you got to replace every year. It's $50.
Okay.
Other than that, you keep it charged. You don't make payments. You pay the one-time fee and you got the dang thing. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and a Motorola, $109 to $120. You can even with these you can even get, you can put them there and you can get like the mic to hang up here, just like you would a Motorola. Same thing with these. Okay. So the Motorola is good and a Motorola is good to 5 miles straight line of sight.
That's pretty good. I dabble in ham radio quite a bit. I've dabbled in GMRS. I don't have my license, but I do have a ham radio. So. And
those are really handy too. You see a lot of them handheld ham radios.
Just one of the bail things. I mean, I especially when there's bad weather. But I think it's important that we do community outreach, like you're talking about, getting people involved in like self-sufficiency, independence, learning new skills and trades, things that you can. Take with you and learn in case of an emergency situation.
Well, absolutely. I mean, like I said, we're going to have tables set up with prepper type food, food that'll last from 1 year to 25 years.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like tablets I have tablets in my bug out bags. And one bag of tablets, which is about 3 times the size of a cell phone, will last one person 72 hours.
Wow.
Food wise.
Right.
Okay. Right. We're gonna have a table set up that we're also gonna have ex-military, ex-police officers there. I've invited Mark Schrader. Hey, Mark, you out there? You coming? I've invited Steve Wilson. I've invited Don Stoltz. I've invited Ray Cross from I've invited several sheriffs and several people that are running for sheriffs. We've invited the chief fire investigator here in Lafayette out of Rock Springs. He said he would get somebody there. The guys from Trine, from Mount Vernon Mills, the Trine Fire Department are coming.
Good.
And let me go through the speakers right quick. And
sure.
Again, we're going to have. It's not just prepping. We're going to talk about firearm safety. We're going to talk about firearm training. We're going to talk about hand-to-hand combat while we're there. We all need to be prepared, and all this stem from. The borders being open, basically.
Sure.
Huge
immigration problems.
Huge. God. It's so bad, and nobody knows this. Tomorrow in the Somerville News, and I'm not being a squirrel here, this is part of what we're going to talk about, and the people listening to this probably do not know that in Chattooga County, there's 720 acres that have just been, one was bought a year ago, 290 acres. 430 acres have just been bought by a Chinese Hong Kong-based CCP company. Now,
yes,
pull that ad up. Now, the big deal about that is I don't want any foreign country, anybody that lives that doesn't have a U.S. citizen status or driver's license buying any. This company has 4 of the top echelon. that have been arrested in Hong Kong. 3 more fled Hong Kong. Now, are they using the $50 million to buy land over here? And the next thing, yeah, Brian Kemp, Brad Raffensperger, stop what you're doing. We don't want Chinese living in Chattooga, Walker, anywhere in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody should buy it. So,
yeah, let's give a little bit of background here. So, Christian Jingsheng, if you've not heard of it, and this was back in, I think, it started in 2019, 2021. Anyway, it was some land deals that were purchased from, and I don't think either one of us are coming out and saying that there's any wrongdoing or fraud here. And nothing's been
Absolutely
proven
not.
here at all, okay? But there was a substantial portion of land that was bought through auction through this company called Zhensheng, which is Christian Zhensheng. I don't know if the media is how they're spinning it as Christian Zhensheng, but they all keep saying it's a Christian company. And they did this through the guise of a real estate company that was an LLC through the Secretary of State of Georgia. So it was an incorporated real estate agency that didn't have anything to do with the particular county that the land was in, but it was kind of a situation where they were able to bypass the entire county seat and do this land deal with a licensed real estate company.
No politician in the county that I have found as of yet, and both of us have talked to Blake on that. Neither he knew nothing about it,
right?
But nobody, and I'm talking about as far as the Somerville News. Jason Espy was stunned. Gene Espy, his father, stunned. Okay, the first thing you do if it's a company like this, it's Christian Jing Association Ltd. It is supposed to be a drug rehab company. Okay.
Yes.
We're not doubting that, but what we're doubting is if you're going to open up a company and you're going to buy 720 acres in Chattooga County, wouldn't you advertise it on the news? Wouldn't the local politicians know? Because that sounds just too shady to me. If I'm opening a company up, first thing I'm going to do is come on Roy's podcast and go, "Hey man, let's plug it. I want to make some money." No, it's when you do it under the table. There's always an ulterior motive, and that's what I see. It's a gut feeling for me. Not only is a gut feeling, their land on top of the mountain, mind you, is on the flat part of Little Sand Mountain. My land's touching it. My neighbors, Mr. Adams, the Vaughns, there's probably 20 to 25 neighbors where their land's touching their land. What I've been told, and I've been asked not to disclose the name, that it's flat. You can actually, when you go on the website, you can do the distance search, 7,400 feet. Okay? There's so many airfields that the landing strip's only 5,000 to 6,000 feet. If you're 7,400 feet, you can land a troop carrier. Okay,
Gotcha.
And I'm not trying to. We're making stuff up. I've been told this. I don't know it for a fact, but this is big.
Sure.
We don't know what's in Walker County.
Well, I mean, we're speculating things. This is a truth that this could be a possible airstrip, but is it wrong to speculate or question given the circumstances of our porous borders, the fact that all kinds of people from all over the place are coming? We know for a fact that when Chinese people come through the border, they get put off to a completely different place.
They've got a bracelet. They've got a backpack.
And we've got some serious tension issues with China and Taiwan right now. Not to mention that the America is we're racing to stay on top of the world stage as the global leader. I mean, so yeah, absolutely.
We're bombing 2 countries right now. Yeah. If anybody thinks we're not at World War, the last time we bombed 2 countries at the same time was World War II.
Sure.
We're in a world war, and it is happening as we speak. Yep. It's an information war, but then there's also the kinetic war that's going on. 2 countries the U.S. is bombing. Those people hate us. Russians don't like us. Chinese, CCP, and I'm saying communists. Iran doesn't like us. we're bombing them.
Sure.
I mean,
And on top of that, our own government is telling us that if we don't continue to pump out money and send it overseas, all of our sons and daughters will be on the front lines of these proxy wars. I mean,
absolutely.
I don't think that we're jumping to too many conclusions here.
No, we're not. No, you can piece the evidence together to know that your government, and I'm saying this to everybody out there, your government is against you 100%. Sure. If you've ever trusted them, you've been naive, but now's the time to wake up and smell the coffee and actually start listening to some people that have done the research. Sure. And Roy and I we've done a lot of the research, and there's a lot of people out there that have. You got to listen to it. But
right. Now, this particular article that we're talking about, it says, this is from the Standard, and this was January 18th of this year. 4 Xinjiang associate directors arrested for defrauding $50 million in donations. Okay, this is a Chinese article,
and 3 wanted, 3 have fled.
3 have fled, and so the significance, I think, of this. So moving kind of back to the story at hand. So there's 2 separate pieces of land transactionally. That one was actually purchased. The other one is still, if I'm not mistaken, hasn't been completely purchased yet.
No, it has.
Has.
Gene Espy, not Gene, but Jason Espy and I went, and I've got a copy of that. That right there. It's actually purchased, but they've hidden it.
Gotcha.
Okay?
So
when you click on the address or the name, it pulls up Robert E. Searles.
Okay.
But when you actually click on parcel numbers, look, it pulls it right up.
I see. So in other words, it's not listed out in the open.
No, it's not listed out in the open. And that's
very
scary.
Interesting to me. It is scary, and it's also, if I'm not mistaken, I guess who this Mr. Searles is still on this land, and there's a moratorium put on this land. Or at least I've been told a possible moratorium.
That's on the
this
290
land.
acres.
Right.
They can't build anything for 2 years, and they can't grow any crops. But you know what? There's a Georgia law. You can pull it up. You can't buy land if you're from China, Russia, Korea, or Iran, and use it for growing any crops. That is a law.
Okay.
And you can't buy, and you shouldn't be able to buy any. I mean, I want it to be listed as treason, and people go to prison. And you know what happens to people that commit treason? Okay, right. So that's what I want. Maybe I'm a little bit harsh. I don't think so.
The whole thing's alarming. And we see these kind of scams come through all the time, where they're trying to take all this rural land and buy it up. They have the money to buy it up. I know somebody that was actually at this auction during the first land purchase with the people that bought it. So it's not uncommon, but the uncommon parts of these is the amount of heavy hitter people who are trying to buy up all this rural land and turn it into subdivided parcels and all over the place and put these massive subdivisions in. And it also is very uncommon that this real estate company that they use for these 2 transactions, did they not just go out of business?
Yes.
They're now completely defunct after these 2 purchases of land. So what happened to them, Lord knows. We have no idea, but they were able to do all of this stuff legally through the state of Georgia's Secretary of State's office. And now they've got these land purchases, and they're defunct.
Guess
There's
what?
Something weird about that.
There's a name for that. What's it called? Shell company.
Shell companies, right? But they are very smart. They know how to get around the law.
Yep.
And then when you kind of think about this situation, well, if you're using a realty company that's incorporated through the state, there's really no red flags come up, and it's not going through any channels that anybody's going to look at and say, well, there's nothing wrong. And then you throw that beautiful word Christian in front of everything, and then, you can easily overlook it.
And you can write off your tax. You get a huge tax write-off.
Exactly.
You might even get some money from the government.
Right.
And
what we're not speculating on is this article here that they have been arrested for stealing donations. The board of directors
fraud,
and some of them have fled. So something.
There's another caveat to this. The local in Chattooga County, this organization has been going to churches. They've already been to Subligna Baptist begging for money. Okay.
Really?
Oh yeah.
So there's a group of them here that are operating here
from the land, and they're begging for money. They're wanting to, let's say, I'm speculating, because I'm going to say they've done anything wrong. You got 4 arrested for fraud for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, how were they even able to buy land?
Yeah.
That's the
Where are they getting their money from? Yeah, it's craziness.
we're in the twilight zone.
Well, and not only that, but we know in our areas too, you can get a larger amounts of land for way less money than you can out west or anywhere else. You know?
That land in 720 acres in California, which you couldn't find, by the way, that land would be $30 million.
Wow. Yeah, easy. So, you can consider this concerned citizens or all this stuff, but we know that there's nefarious actors at play all over the place. And this is just one example that we're digging into. A lot of people are digging into. We want to know what's going on with our land.
Absolutely.
We don't want all of our rural land subdivided and put in these huge subdivisions. And I'll tell you another fact of the matter. Now, I have a very close family out in California. And this may blow some of people's minds out here, but they're staunch conservatives, always has been. Wonderful people. I've been out to California. I've walked down Hollywood Boulevard. And I spoke to my cousin the other day, and she was telling me, we were just comparing notes and things, and she said, hey, because she works in real estate, she said, I'm fixing to go and look at a list of 1,200 square foot house. She said it's kind of dumpy. It's not been taken very well care of. It needs some work, but we're putting it on the market tomorrow. And I said, well, how much is that going to cost? And she said, $1.4 million. And that ought to blow some people's minds around here to think about that. A 1,200 square foot house in need of reservation going immediately on the market in California for $1.4 million.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's where our inflation is right now. This is where everything's going. And so it's a no-brainer to come, especially to somewhere that's very conservative and set up God knows what.
Yeah.
In an area that you can get cheaper than you can anywhere else. And what kind of people do we think we're going to be bringing into our communities, And when people can literally sell a house that we would pay a 30-year mortgage on and work a regular job, they're selling the same houses for 6 times of what and buying houses over here sight unseen.
Oh, yeah.
And just moving right in and still having money in the bank. I'm a capitalist. There's nothing wrong with that. But, we have to be vigilant and understand that there's people at play here who want to destroy communities like ours.
We've got people on Haywood Valley Road from Colorado. Mm-hmm. We've got people from Ohio that have recently moved in. Now, they're good people, okay? They want to move to get away. They want to move to get away from the Democratic state, and they're not bringing their views. These people are conservative people. I know. I've met them, and this is part of this civil safety training. Mm-hmm. If you don't know in your neighborhood everybody, then there's an issue, because if you can't get a hold of a certain person, then that certain person may be trying to dive and duck and get around you. There may be an issue.
It could be.
It may be very well, and you don't. If a new person moves in, the first thing you should do is go over and greet them to your neighborhood. Number one, to make them feel at home, and it's the godly way. But the number two, do you want a criminal moving in?
Sure.
And you don't know them?
Or worse, good Lord. Somebody that is into some very bad things. And I say these things as a Chicago native myself. I was born in Chicago. My father's down here from the South. But I understand what it is. God forbid I had to live up in Chicago in this day and age, But if you think about it, that's where the influx is. There's always gonna be people trying to take advantage and set things up in different parts of the country that are not good for the people. And we're not insinuating that this is bad. But something needs to be investigated here to make sure that our communities are going to be safe.
Yeah, and here we go again. I'm fine with calling out our servants, and that's exactly what they are. If the servants that we have put in power, servants, and I say servants because we're sovereign. When you take the sovereign hat on and you put the servant hat on, you have to listen to what we say. Mm-hmm. Now, the unfortunate thing is, I believe about 90% of them haven't swore an oath and don't have a bond on what they've actually sworn to. So where do you hold them accountable? Mm-hmm. That's against the law. It's against the Constitution not to swear an oath to the Constitution. Yes. So that's where you get them. And it's happening as we speak. It's happening everywhere as we speak. You're getting these politicians, now we know, They're scared to death of us.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Yeah. I mean, I think it's, and we didn't want to get into a whole lot of this tonight, but I think it's appalling.
Yes.
The narrative that's being pushed right now, and I know some of these people are very smart people and they understand, but I think it's appalling at the narrative of this accountability and where it's going. I mean, it's very cut and dry. It's pretty plain and simple, and it all goes back to the same thing. It's the people's house, okay? The people are wide awake, and the people don't like what they see, and you've got these groups of establishment people, or not even establishment, but people who think they're in their own little club. They don't have to participate in things the way they are. They've got the money, they've got the influence, they've got everything that they need to move along without you. And then they turn around and they get completely distraught and want to go crazy whenever they're being held accountable because they're not answering to the people, they're not working with the people.
Well, yeah, we all know, and I'm sure everybody even watching the podcast out there knows, but we want everybody to scream it as loud as they can. It's not a right to hold them accountable. It's your duty.
It is. And part of this is our problem. If we'd have been watching more and holding more
Absolutely.
accountable, but we see things and well, it's about being too comfortable. Like we said, you get too comfortable, especially when you walk into a store and you've got 15 feet of butter, to pick from, or you don't just go buy a toothbrush. You have a whole aisle devoted to that. We get so comfortable in our skin and our freedoms and this experiment of America, and you kind of forget who's at the wheel.
Well, and you and I are kind of cut from the same cloth because we're both musicians. So
yes.
You can kind of say, I admit, I had to repent when I opened my eyes. I'm like, dear God, what have I done? Mm-hmm. I mean, I was too busy going, hey, let's work on the next set, guys. Let's rehearse it. Mm-hmm. That's a new song. Oh, worried about that. Worried about the next show, the next set, or whatever. And I understand we all have to go through that. And we all have to grow up, but we all have to repent too, because we've let God down in this nation by doing this. It took Bible out of schools in 1962, and so actually for 210 years, but actually after Lincoln, it got bad.
Yeah.
And we grew up in it. So we really didn't know. So we're having to reteach the old the original constitutional ways. That's the way it's supposed to be.
That's right.
But anyway, civil safety training. You guys are gonna enjoy this because we've got a lot of people to talk to. You're gonna have a lot of items there that you can put your hands on, stuff like that. And I'm always packing, so I've always got something. And Roy's the same way. And if you need some assistance, I'll have a little bit of time. I'm kind of trying to be the announcer, and then I'm trying to do a lot. But hey, I've got a lot of people helping me down there. It's going to be a great time. The public really needs to come because they really need to know everything they're talking about. Hey, and while we're on that, I didn't get to everybody. I want to announce everybody that's verified that they're coming and going to speak.
Okay.
So, March 30th starts at 11 o'clock. Preacher Jeff Daniels, he's going to bless the ceremony there. We're going to say the Pledge of Allegiance. Brad Barnes from Floyd, he's going to be there. He's going to speak at right around 11:30. And what I'm going to do after that is I'm going to put on Sheriff Jones on the big projector screen from Ohio, and it's going to lead up to what we need the sheriffs doing. We need them training people. This civil safety is, I hope, the start of this, because that's what Sheriff Jones talks about. We're going to put that little short video on. I've cut it, but we were getting the gist of it. Mm-hmm. And then and that should last till about totally 12:30. Michael Pons is coming on. He's another 2026 candidate for the U.S. Senate.
Good.
Hmm.
I said that's good.
And then, so I've got some openings, and I've got a couple more good videos to play. I don't know if everybody's heard "If I Were the Devil." Okay,
yes.
A lot of people haven't heard that. And that's, 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
It's just cool stuff that everybody needs to hear.
Way
We're trying to
older
wake
than
people
many
up.
of us.
That is so awesome. I'm waiting on Sheriff Barron Reinhold. Well, he's running for sheriff of Gwinnett County, to give me a call to see if he's going to be there. And he will speak at 2. Jennifer Hillegas is going to be there at 3 to speak. Reagan Box is going to be there at 3:30 to speak. Melissa Heiss, she's going to be there at 4 to speak. Actually, Andy Allen, I'd asked Blake, he's going to be there, but we're going to have Andy there to speak.
Okay.
We're going to have Robert Drake said he would be there. Let's see who else. Really hoping Mark Schrader does. Harvey Wysong said he would possibly come. Another good patriot, good tactical
Very
patriot. Good. But running around the crowd, I've already got, again, ex-military veterans that are good at what they do because they've been trained, officially trained. And it's going to be a good time where you're going to get to meet people that you haven't met. Mm-hmm. And there's people from Walker County, Dade County, Chattooga County, Floyd County, Gordon County, Whitfield County, Catoosa County. A lot of people are going to be there.
Good.
We're looking at, right now, in my estimation, we're looking at 150, and I've still got 3 weeks to advertise. So,
well, good. I think this is great. We've done these things in the past. They've relatively went pretty smoothly. It's but having a big one like this, where a lot of people can come out and just network and meet with each other. It's been a while since we had one. We had a real good Patriot camp out back in October.
Yeah,
I would have liked to incorporated some of this in, but and we're going to do another one. So, but yeah, man, I think this is going to be a good event. So,
I think so.
Yeah. All right. Well, let me. I'm going to try to skim through some comments because we're getting ready to wrap it up here. Both of us are about dead tired. And
2:00 this morning.
Yeah.
Woo!
So we thank again Richard Schroeder, the great, amazing patriot down there, for showing up. Sharon Holland, thank you so much for watching. She watches all the time. And that's correct, Sharon. Thank you for letting me know. If you don't already know that Donald Trump is going to be in Rome, Georgia,
at the Forum.
It's at the Forum this Saturday.
Yep.
So. I'm going to be way up in the mountains, so I'm not going to see Trump this time. And I've been to the rallies, and they're a lot of fun. So if you haven't went out, you can go to Kingdom Small Town. I have the registration posted on one of my. You scroll down if you haven't seen it. So make plans to attend. It's probably going to be a wild event because there'll be a lot of people coming out. So. We thank Charles Stoker and all the work that he's done.
Always.
That's some pretty long comments there, but I'm not going to read those tonight. But I'll go back.
I think we spoke on everything he's put up there already. But yeah, thank you, Charles.
And Jennifer Hillegas, absolute wonderful patriot. She's always moving 90 miles an hour, and we thank her for being with us. Anna Sharp, very good Chattooga County patriot. We thank her, and. Let's see. Let's go down a little bit. And all good comments, all good people. Jennifer had said that she could bring an air fryer and donate and cook some burgers for the event. So that's a good one.
Hey,
yes,
Jennifer.
We like it. Andy Soha is here with us. Great patriot down a little bit further down than us. Thank you for the kind words.
Thank you, sir. And
Lisa Adams, my sister, she is one heck. In fact, we're going to have Lisa on the show soon with Smatterchew out of TikTok. I can't wait for that. We're setting it up now. So that's going to be a lot of fun. If you don't know who Smatterchew is on TikTok, he's a great patriot and does a lot of good work over there. So cannot wait for that. Richard asked who's going to the Trump rally. I hope everybody does. I already had these plans well in advance before this, but I think it's going to be a really good event.
Well, I know there's going to be a lot of patriots there, so my plan is to be passing flyers out.
There you go. I might have to give you a few to pass out.
Oh yeah. I'm serious.
So.
Just call me and I'll say, hey man, can you run by Lafayette on the way back to Chattooga County? Yep. And I'll grab some and I'll.
It sounds good. It sounds real good. We're looking at still getting Dr. Frank on the show and being with us. That should be an awesome event. We're going to be doing some, let's see, I'll just wait on that. We're going to be doing some candidate forums coming up. There's a couple new channels as well that has started the candidate forums here specifically in Walker County that we're excited about. I just recently got to view some of that. So as that's just a great thing. We all need to be well aware of our candidates, who's running, and make your own informed decision. You're never going to hear me tell you who to vote for. You need to make that decision yourself. No matter who it is, no matter what it is, you do it. You need to take the time, just like we've said over and over again. It's our responsibility to be in this game.
Absolutely.
It's our responsibility to figure out who the best person is to move forward and to make sure that the people are represented. So,
You know, and I hate to say bad stuff about people, but I hear them complain all the time. Oh, it's no use in voting. If you don't vote, I don't want to hear you complain one time
Sure.
about who's in office. I don't want to hear it.
and I'm gonna be honest with you. This is me personally. I know I've looked at the metrics for years. You know, people say you can't run on your platform of what you're going to do. You know, I mean, we all, I guess, love a little bit of what do you call it? Just drama. Mm-hmm. But I always look at policy over anything else. I look dead fast at policy, and of course they say, well, you can't just go on policy. You got to go on. No, that's just me. So the more that I see people creating drama, the less that I want to vote for anybody like that, because the ones that can just stick through and focus on policy and focus on the things that they're going to do instead of creating these gaslights, that's a red flag for me. And so
Amen.
You need to be looking at policy. You need to be, never mind all the other crap. We get enough crap in our lives. What we want is people to tell us what they're going to do, how they're going to be different. What are they going to do to move us forward? So that's just me.
I agree.
But Sharon Holland also says Trump really is the best. All patriots come together. I mean, this is it's not just a movement. I guess it's a sea change. Like,
Yeah.
You said it. We say it all the time. Once you see it, you cannot unsee it. And that's a burden, I think, that we carry.
Well, and Trump even knows this. You're exactly right. Trump even knows, and he has said it. They're not after me. They're after you. And guess what? If we have Trump on top, taking out the deep state from the top, we still have to work from the bottom to take our county deep state out, our state deep state out, and up to the local. He can't do it on his own. It's us.
Absolutely right. So, yeah, man, it's an uphill battle, but you're going to have to be ready and standing and willing to go through that battle. That's all there is to it.
Yes.
Wear the armor of God the entire way through.
Amen.
So, before we adjourn, is there anything else you'd like to say out here?
Thank you, Roy.
Man, I appreciate it. I look forward to working with you in all kinds of ways in the future. And
oh yeah,
and you best believe that all of us are going to be going in battle together. So we're not going to stop.
Well, I want to say this one thing. Anybody wants to come do some target practice? I have a shooting range.
Okay.
So right now I'm only at 130 yards, but I've got neighbors where we can shoot to 600. So
okay.
Well,
sign me up.
Spring
is approaching.
You're ready.
That sounds good. We're going to go ahead and adjourn here in just a second. And I just want to tell everybody real quick, we're all down here in the trenches. Sometimes we go through, I've said it before, like you just want to give up and you want to quit and you just want to just let it all go, right? Because we really just want to be left alone. We just want to be free and left alone, pay our bills, But God always has a way of connecting people or putting things in your way that you might not understand. But then in hindsight, it's like, oh, it was a blessing. It was something that was there that keeps you going and rekindles your fire. And so I just want to tell everybody how appreciated I am of all of these wonderful people that I've been working with, and that we've all been kind of connecting with each other, and people that I feel like we've created relationships that will outlive a lifetime. And this is the reason I continue to do this, and especially when I just want to rake all this stuff off the table and just go out, I mean, I keep coming back because of people like you guys out there that just continue to support me and want me to do this. And so it's my pleasure to continue to bring these shows out, and we'll keep doing on Wednesdays. But we got a lot of good things planned. So you just keep listening and watching and helping me share this around everywhere, and we'll keep on rolling. So,
Amen.
Jerry, man, appreciate you, brother.
Thank you.
I'm glad, and I can't wait for the 30th, man. Come out and see me on the 30th, man. Come to my booth. We're going to set up and have a great time, and we're going to learn a lot of stuff together.
Hey, it's going to be live down there, right?
Yeah, I will live stream as much as I can. So
I mean, it's going to be long, but
that's no excuse. Come down there. Get in there. All right? All right, you guys have a good evening. We'll see you later, and I love y'all.